Good evening, everyone. We'll call the meeting to order and begin with our land acknowledgement statement. We acknowledge that the ground on which we live is the traditional territory of Caldwell First Nation, of the Three Fires Confederacy, and the original people of Point Pelee and Pelee Island and its surrounding lands and waters, and that of the Huron-Wendat and Wyandot peoples. We recognize and respect the First Nations who are stewards of the land and waters of Turtle Island and who have embraced this stewardship since time immemorial. We would also like to acknowledge contributions of other nearby First Nation communities and all original people across Turtle Island. We're going to begin with the adoption of our agenda for the April 2026 LaSalle Police Service Board public agenda. Moved by Maureen, support by Anita. All in favor? That carries. Any disclosures of community interest? Great. Being none, we can move into the adoption of our minutes from LaSalle Police Services Board Committee and public meeting, which were held March 16th, 2026. Moved by Garth, support by Anita. All in favor? That carries. Presentations and delegations. Number one is our new member introductions to the board. Chief.
Testing. Thank you, Mayor Meloche. It's my pleasure to introduce our newest constables to the board. Constable Dylan Kelly Irish was sworn as a cadet on Monday, December 12th, 2025. He completed 13 weeks of basic constable training at the Ontario Police College on March 19th, 2026, where he achieved a 96% overall average. So well done. On March 27th, 2026, Cadet Kelly Irish was sworn in as a fourth class constable and began his field training with a coach officer. Deputy?
Just going to read the bio about the guy who's 4% incorrect. Dylan Kelly Irish was born and raised in Windsor. His parents, Mike and Alicia, raised Dylan with a strong appreciation for community, accountability, and respect. He comes from a supportive family that has encouraged him to pursue his goals and contribute positively to those around him. Dylan completed his post-secondary education at the University of Windsor with a double major in criminology and psychology and has continued to look for ways to gain practical experience related to policing. He has volunteered with Youth Diversion Rebound Program, working with both youth and adults in Southwest Detention Center, running a co-facilitating rehabilitation-focused program. Additionally, Dylan has volunteered with Victim Services, where he assisted victims and individuals during difficult circumstances. Locally, Dylan has stayed involved with his community by both coaching varsity football at Sandwich Secondary and supporting local events such as the Autism Gala for the past 6 years. Dylan has been working toward a career in policing and building experience and developing the skills needed to work with people from different backgrounds. He values honesty, professionalism, and being accountable for his actions. Dylan would like to thank his family, friends, and mentors for their continued support, as well as the Chief of Police and the Police Services Board for this opportunity. Come on up, Dylan.
Say a few words? Sure.
Just one. Don't worry. Good afternoon, Chief, Deputy Chief, and members of the board. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today. I'm honored to be joining the LaSalle Police Service, and I'd like to thank the board and members of the service for placing their trust in me. I recognize that becoming a police officer comes with a significant responsibility. It is a role that requires professionalism, sound judgment, and commitment to serving the community with respect and integrity. Those are standards I intend to uphold each and every day. Policing stood out to me because of the standard it demands. It requires discipline, accountability, and effective decision-making under pressure, qualities I've worked to develop and will continue to build on. As I begin this career, I'm looking forward to continue learning, gaining experience from those around me, and contributing positively to both the service and the community. I understand the importance of the role, and I'm committed to representing the service in a way that reflects its values. During my time at the Ontario Police College, I also came to appreciate just how meaningful it is to be a part of this profession and the services within it. Aside from the classroom, OPC taught me two things. I don't look nearly as good with a mustache as I thought I would, and how fortunate I am to be a part of a service like LaSalle. What stood out to me during my time there was the range of emotions as people prepared to return to their respective services. Many of my classmates were nervous, hesitant, or unsure what was ahead. That wasn't something I could relate to. I found myself talking about how excited I was to get back and begin my career here. In fact, conversations often started with, "Where is LaSalle?" and quickly turned into, "How often do you hire and when can I apply?" To me, that speaks to the reputation of the service and the strength of the community it serves. I'm proud to be here, and I look forward to serving the town of LaSalle. Thank you.
Constable Colin Elliott was sworn in as a member of the LaSalle Police Service on Wednesday, March the 4th, 2026. Constable Elliott brings with him 3 years of policing experience in the province of Ontario.
Born in Sudbury, Ontario, Colin was raised in a household where adventure wasn't just encouraged, it was practically mandatory. His parents, Rita Tyfair and Grant Elliott, worked as travel nurses, which meant his early years were spent moving between places like Florida, Texas, and even Saudi Arabia. Along the way, Colin developed a global perspective in early life, along with the talent for adapting quickly to new environments. Colin has a sister, Leah, a world traveler who has continued the family's tradition of exploring beyond home. From a young age, Colin's career aspirations were clear. While other children debated what they wanted to be, he had already made up his mind. Whether in the backyard or in neighborhood streets, games of cops and robbers always ended the same way. Colin was the cop, and justice was inevitably served, and usually on his terms. Colin's passion for history, particularly World War II, led him abroad for a year in France, where he studied the invasion of Normandy. This experience deepened his respect for service, sacrifice, and the importance of leadership under pressure. After spending the majority of his life in Sault Ste. Marie, Colin eventually relocated to Windsor, where he began a nearly 8-year career with Chrysler. Starting as a summer vacation replacement, Colin steadily advanced through the ranks, first to supervisor and later to plant maintenance departmental planner. That's a good title there. Demonstrating a strong work ethic and natural leadership ability. At the age of 34, Colin made the decision to pursue a lifelong goal of policing. He joined the Windsor Police Service, where he served for 3 years before transferring to LaSalle Police Service, continuing his commitment to public service within the community. Colin is a proud father to his son, Adam, who remains his greatest motivation and reason behind his move to the welcoming town of LaSalle in pursuit of a better work-life balance. Colin shares a strong, supportive family connection with his wife, Fatima, and together they remain focused on raising Adam in a positive, grounded environment. He says, "I'm good, guys." Adam, it's often noted, seems to have inherited a bit of his mother's attitude. Something that keeps life interesting and ensures there's never a dull moment, which I'm sure that sentence will help do tonight. Grateful for the experiences that have shaped him, Colin remains committed to serving his community and looks forward to continuing both his professional and personal journey with a sense of purpose, perspective, and just enough humor to keep things in balance. Go on up, Colin.
Shake your hand anyway.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Fatima. That is my son, by the way, who's been crying throughout and babbling throughout this entire presentation. But he is the love of my life, and he is the reason that I transferred from Windsor here to LaSalle. It was for a better work-life balance. It was so I could be with my kid and spend time with him and see him grow. But having now been working in LaSalle for the past month, I want to thank the members of the board, and I want to thank Chief and Deputy and our constables for being so welcoming. I've now discovered that despite coming over here for my child, this is also one of the most professional and welcoming working environments that I've had the pleasure of being a part of. It truly brings me joy to come to work to each day and chase those dreams I had as a child of giving back to my community. LaSalle is a city that gives officers time to really spend that one-on-one with our customers. So while my speech is not as good as my colleagues, I'd just like to thank everyone, and I'm looking forward to spending the rest of my career here in LaSalle.
Okay. So on behalf of the board, council, and the residents of the town of LaSalle, we want to welcome you to our community. We're very excited you chose the town of LaSalle, but you need to know you are joining a very dedicated team that takes great pride in protecting and supporting our residents, and we are confident that you will make a very meaningful impact. So welcome to LaSalle. We do have a recommendation for the board that the memorandum for Chief Pierce dated April 7th, 2026 regarding the new member introductions to the board be received, and the LaSalle Police Services Board recognize the newest members of LaSalle Police Service, Constable Dylan Kelly Irish and Constable Colin Elliott. Moved by Anita, support by Maria, all in favor, and that carries. Item 2 is our appointment of auxiliary members. Chief?
Thank you. Don't go anywhere. We're going to do photos after this. Madam Mayor, I'm pleased to introduce the first ever cohort of the LaSalle Police Auxiliary Program. 7 citizens were selected from 133 applications. This is a diverse group representing various educational backgrounds, work experiences, ages, ethnicities, and languages. Yasser Al-Baroudi, Bethany Bowen, Macy Greenhalf, Dennis Wynn, Louise Martens, Kristen Lawrence, and Tyler Lassard are our new auxiliaries. Louise Martens has been selected to be an auxiliary sergeant. She arrives with more than 11 years of experience as an auxiliary member with the Chatham-Kent Police Service. I'm confident she will be a leader in our program and part of our team at LPS. Auxiliary training has included report writing, notebook use, radio communications, workplace harassment, ethics, federal and provincial statutes, traffic direction, arrest authorities, use of force theory, and defensive techniques, missing person searches, police vehicle operations, and firearms safety and handling. These auxiliary members will assist with community engagement, crime prevention initiatives, community events, searches for missing persons, and ride-alongs with officers. Would Louise like to come up for a moment to say a few words? And she's going to represent the rest of you, so you can take a deep breath. You don't each need to come up and say something.
Thank you, Chief. Welcome. I am your new auxiliary sergeant, Louise Martens. Yeah. Okay, thanks. And I would like to thank everyone for coming today, and especially Chief Pierce for giving me the opportunity to help launch the auxiliary program with LaSalle Police Service. Drawing on my experience as an auxiliary member with CKPS, I was honored to be part of this initiative. I would also like to congratulate our new auxiliary members on becoming the first of their kind for LaSalle Police. Your role will be important in enhancing police presence throughout the community by supporting events, parades, helping oversee our parks, and doing ride-alongs with our fellow officers. Thank you all, and I look forward to working together.
Hi, so we'll start off with the oath of office for our auxiliary members. So we'll start off with Louise. Just gonna read this. And
To the left, this
you're
one,
gonna
right?
raise your hand.
Okay. I, Louise Martens, solemnly swear that I will uphold the laws of Ontario and Canada, including the Constitution of Canada, which recognizes and affirms Aboriginal and treaty rights of Indigenous peoples, and that, when authorized to perform police duties by the Chief of Police, I will discharge my duties as an auxiliary member of the LaSalle Police Service, faithfully, impartially, and according to law. So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'd like to next invite up Yasser. This here.
Yep.
And raise your
I, Yasser Bordi, solemnly swear in the presence and in the name of Allah that I will uphold the laws of Ontario and Canada, including the Constitution of Canada, which recognizes and affirms Aboriginal and treaty rights of Indigenous people, and that when authorized to perform police duties by the Chief of Police, I will discharge my duties as an auxiliary member of the LaSalle Police Service, faithfully, impartially, and according to law.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Bethany?
I, Bethany Bowen, solemnly swear that I will uphold the laws of Ontario and Canada, including the Constitution of Canada, which recognizes and affirms Aboriginal and treaty rights of Indigenous peoples, and that when authorized to perform police duties by the Chief of Police, I will discharge my duties as an auxiliary member of the LaSalle Police Service, faithfully, impartially, and according to law. So help me God.
I'm just excited. Congratulations. Macy?
I, Macy Greenhalf, solemnly swear that I will uphold the laws of Ontario and Canada, including the Constitution of Canada, which recognizes and affirms Aboriginal and treaty rights of Indigenous peoples, and that when authorized to perform police duties by the Chief of Police, I will discharge my duties as an auxiliary member of the LaSalle Police Service, faithfully, impartially, and according to law. So help me God.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Dennis? Just raise your right hand.
I, Dennis Wynn, solemnly swear that I will uphold the laws of Ontario and Canada, including the Constitution of Canada, which recognizes and affirms Aboriginal and treaty rights of Indigenous people, and that when authorized to perform police duties by the Chief of Police, I will discharge my duties as an auxiliary member of the LaSalle Police Service, faithfully, impartially, and according to law. So help me God.
And just
Thank you.
Kristen?
I, Kristen Lawrence, solemnly swear that I will uphold the laws of Ontario and Canada, including the Constitution of Canada, which recognizes and affirms Aboriginal and treaty rights of Indigenous peoples, and that when authorized to perform police duties by the Chief of Police, I will discharge my duties as an auxiliary member of the LaSalle Police Service, faithfully, impartially, and according to law. So help me God.
Congratulations. Thank you. Tyler?
I, Tyler LaSalle, solemnly swear that I will uphold the laws of Ontario and Canada, including the Constitution of Canada, which recognizes and affirms Aboriginal and treaty rights of Indigenous peoples, and that when authorized to perform police duties by the Chief of Police, I will discharge my duties as an auxiliary member of the LaSalle Police Service faithfully, impartially, and according to law. So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Congratulations. Thanks.
Okay. Chief?
Section 91, subsection 1 of the Community Safety Policing Act permits police service boards to appoint auxiliary members of a police service. So I'm requesting that these 7 candidates be appointed.
Thank you very much. The recommendation is that the memorandum from Chief Pierce dated April 8th, 2026 regarding the appointment of auxiliary members be received and that the new LaSalle Police Service auxiliary members be appointed. Moved by Garth, support by Marie. All in favor? And that carries. Thank you very much. Congratulations and welcome to the team. You are definitely the first of its kind for the town of LaSalle, so we're very excited for this new program and what it means for our town as far as being able to provide more to our residents. And so thank you for stepping forward. With that, we are going to take a short 5 to 10 minute break so that we can do all the photos. If we can start with the 2 new officers first, and then we'll move on to the auxiliary photos. Okay?
Sorry. Kind of.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We have a very short agenda to continue with, so we will move on to our reports and correspondence for action, which there were none. So we have our consent agenda. We have items G1 through G5. Is there any items of the 5 anyone wants to pull out and speak to directly? If there's none, a motion to receive the 5 items? Moved by Garth, support by Anita. All in favor? That carries. Any questions or statements by board members? Nothing tonight? We don't have any bylaws. Our schedule of meetings are listed below, and that is it for tonight. Meeting adjourned.